Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Glenn Jones. I want to ask you a question. Do you want the experience? Well, Tall Boy is about to give it to you.
And if you want the exclusive, you want the tall boy, because he's going to bring you the
Hey, it's the
exclusive.
Tallboy Experience, man. We're here, City Winery. I got Grammy nominated. All the ladies love them. Jacksonville, Florida. Seventh Day Adventist.
Wow, you really did your homework.
I got none other than We've Only Just Begun. Love by Design. That's the new one.
Yeah.
And Show Me. I got Mr. Glenn Jones. How you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. Now, a little birdie had me working backstage and doing some stuff with you tonight, and we had an opportunity to really see you do your thing today for the holiday season. Why did you choose to come to Atlanta and do a holiday concert?
Well, I love Atlanta. Atlanta has always been good to me, and I recently moved here almost 4 years ago, and it's been phenomenal. Every time I play, the crowd is always good. They come out, they show their appreciation, and I just I wanted to do something before the end of the year. Kind of be able to bring the New Year in and celebrate with everybody, because I won't be here for New Year's. I'll be in England, so I figured I'll do something before I leave to go there.
So you being Mr. International right now, right? You're going to be over in Manchester trying to live it up, speaking like with the Londoners.
Hey, well, I got to go get that bag, man. They're paying, that's why I got to go.
All right, well, we're going to get back on the international experience in a moment, but let's talk Jacksonville to Atlanta. What were some traditions that you had in Jacksonville that only Floridans know, and then talk about what you like a little bit about Atlanta right now?
Well, traditions in Jacksonville. We all went to Jenkins Barbecue. That's all. On Kings Road. When I came up in Jacksonville, I was actually part of a church, a Seventh-day Adventist church, which was Pentecostal, Seventh-day Adventist. And matter of fact, I met someone tonight that was from my old church, and we were, talking about, all of the, restrictions and stuff and how we came up. It was a different kind of life. Friday evening, sun go down, no television, no nothing. Bible study, go to church Saturday morning, Sabbath school, staying all day. Saturday evening comes, sun goes down, and then you're allowed to, to resume your activities or whatever. But I think that it was good for me because it made me the person that I am. My mother was the superintendent of the Sabbath school. So, I had to learn all of the lessons and, study the Bible and all that kind of stuff. But it was a good situation for me.
And now Atlanta, what are some of the things that you like about Atlanta outside of the women?
Did you say that? Did you just say that? Okay. No, Atlanta's got some beautiful women, no doubt about that. I love, how diverse Atlanta is, and the fact that here, music. You get music is like a melting pot. You get everything. They love blues down here. They love jazz. They love R&B. They love gospel. They love country. They love it all.
Now, City Winery, from my understanding, you're a wine connoisseur. And you did it here at City Winery. Are you a white wine or red wine?
I'm versatile, bro. Depending on the day. I might want a little Pinot Noir, or I might want a cab, a nice Cabernet or something. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm a Moscato guy. I like it sweet.
No, you like the sweet.
Yeah, I like it sweet, brother. I'm sorry. Don't. There's no sweet in me, but I like it sweet. All right, so let's talk real quick. New music, Love by Design. Can you talk about it? Why did you come out with this song, Love by Design?
Well, I didn't write that song. A very talented guy named James Day, he wrote the song. And what's so amazing about him is that he's hearing impaired. He's been through a lot of operations and stuff, but he writes these great songs. And when I heard it, it made me think about Regina Bell because it sounds like something that she would sing. And I sent the song to her, and she said, I love it, Glenn, so let's go in the studio and do it. And, we live in times where people are always judgmental, about everything, trying to tell other people how to live, and we all get one shot, to live, and you got to do it your way. So it's about feeling free to love who you want, and to build your own type of relationship, and that's what that song is about. Love by Design.
Now, this is the song. You've got 14 albums out, but now you're going to come out with 15. Lucky number 15. Is that possible?
Yeah, I'm hoping to be lucky. It's amazing how a lot of times, particularly these days, when artists come with new products, people don't even know they have a new record. And that's because of the change in radio and records and the industry. You know what I'm saying? Retail. It's not like it used to be because it's all about the streaming and the downloading. But the album that I've just recorded is a great record. I featured some great people on there. I have a song with Kim Waters. That's an amazing song called All My Heart. I have a song that Chucky Booker produced called Cookout, and actually he produced another track called Family Time, which was written by James Day, and that's the song. Family Time is a song that I got a chance to do a duet with my niece. Her name is Iana Crawley, and she was the '09 Sonny's Best winner.
Oh,
She
okay.
yeah, she's a beast. Got a chance to do a song with her, and featuring Nick Corleone on You and Me. My wife Genovia Jeter Jones is featured on a song called Trust in Me, and it's just an incredible project, man.
Okay, now let me ask you, is there anybody, no matter what the genre may be, that you would like to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
I love Fantasia. I love Faith Evans. I love Joe. I love Music Soul Child. A lot of great artists out there.
But is there one?
I work with all of them. I always really wanted to do a record with Whitney. She was, I met her back in the day, probably in the 90s or whatever, and she was an awesome person. She was a beautiful lady. Sometimes people really don't know the other side of people. And matter of fact, on my wall of fame at the house, I've got a really nice shot of Whitney and I. And she was always gracious, even when she and Bobby got married, they sent me an invitation to come. So I went to the reception and everything. So, it seems like the female singers, the female artists are the ones that's really coming with it, And I like to work with all of them.
Now, let me ask you, Aretha Franklin just passed away a few years ago, and I know you had a personal relationship with her. Can you talk about that relationship and how many holiday parties, birthday parties, shall I say, have you performed with her?
Well, I did a couple parties, and then I used to play at Radio City in New York with her. We did Caesar's Palace in Atlantic City, and she was. I remember the first time I met her, I was playing in Detroit, and this was back in the '80s. I was playing at the Fox Theater, and she had one of her people to call and speak to my manager to say she was coming to the show. So show started. Of course, she was late, and in the middle of my show, I see her sashaying, with this beautiful black satin dress on, this red fox mink on her shoulder and stuff. And it was amazing, man. I mean, somebody like that, an icon like Aretha Franklin, I grew up listening to her. And she came backstage, and we got a chance to talk and get to know each other. I got pictures of, Aretha and Nancy Wilson in my dressing room just talking and yucking it up, just having girl talk. And it was a great opportunity to know that somebody who had that kind of greatness, saw something in me. So it was an honor.
I got to ask you, since we're on that topic, and I know you've had a lot of them, but what's been the most memorable moment in your journey?
Doc. I have a couple. I have one memorable moment when my phone rang, and it was actually Aretha Franklin calling my little apartment out in Queens, New York. That, and then when I was invited to do the Johnny Carson show with Dionne Warwick and work with Burt Bacharach. Yeah, that was very memorable.
Now, this year you had Unsung. Why did you choose to do it, and what did it mean to you just to see, I guess, the history of your career?
Well, I chose to do it because I wanted people to know exactly, what my journey was, and I had a lot of fans that wanted to know. And the thing about doing a show like that sometimes is that people usually expect all of this, tragic drama and everything, and it wasn't like that. Not to say that I haven't had some problems. We all have peaks and valleys, but I think it was um, it was a good situation because people got to know. They were informed. Even stuff that they didn't know. Like records that I maybe had written or had produced or whatever it was. And artists that I had worked with. They needed to know that, and they needed to know that I was still here doing my thing, which I've always done. And sometimes, being a vet in the business tends to take you to other places, to other continents and other countries and stuff like that, because there's so much of everything here. Music here, man, we just spoiled, because we're always looking for the next thing, the next thing, the next thing instead of the good thing, and fact of the matter is that those people, they study you, they know, they study the liner notes. I don't even know if they still do liner notes now, but they know, who wrote the song, who produced it, who sung on it, who the musicians were, and I can appreciate that.
Well, speaking of that, you have the Love Jones Foundation where you talk and mentor youth. Can you talk a little bit about that and how can people be a part of it and help out in any way?
Well, I started that foundation due to my mother. I mean, just the fact that when I was coming up trying to do music, I always had that support. And a lot of youngsters that have that potential, they have music potential, don't have the support, they don't have the resources, they don't have the encouragement, they don't have the opportunities. And I wanted to do that because even when I was in high school, junior high school, music was it's always been a part of my life. But, I've been told that in a lot of situations, they don't have, as much music in the schools now and, those programs. And I know the self-esteem that music gave me, the direction that it gave me, and it gave me something to shoot for. And a lot of kids that don't have that and don't have that vehicle, I wanted to be able to give that to them. So I do that, and also I work with the elderly. We do some programs in some of the senior citizens places, and we work with we call them the forgotten seniors. And when we go in, I take my little rhythm section, and we go in and we raffle off gifts, and we sing. I sing from Nat King Cole to whatever. Andre Crouch. We have some church in there, and we do what we do.
You gotta do that.
And they feel loved for about an hour and a half. And that's the main thing. That's why we call it the Love Jones Foundation.
So I gotta ask, how can people find out more? Because when they see the video, they might want to help. And I know you can't do this all out of your own pocket, getting show money. So how can somebody help you?
Yeah, we definitely need help, man. It's a nonprofit, as we say. Info at the lovejonesfoundation.org. They can go there and see what we're doing and hopefully donate some money. We just finished doing an event for the senior citizens place about 2 weeks ago. And then last week we did a toy drive. I went and picked up a truck full of toys, and, we did the giveaway on Saturday, just trying to do something, man, positive, something good.
As we end 2019, that's the end of a decade, and we're going into a new decade. What do you want to say to anybody that might be a big fan of yours and, going into 2020?
Well, I want to say, please keep supporting me, coming to my shows and, participating in whatever you see that we do, between, the artist Glenn Jones and the Love Jones Foundation. And I just want to say to people, learn how to love each other. The world is so crazy now, man. And I hate to keep saying this because I sound like I'm preaching, but, I'm a news fanatic. I'm a news junkie, and the stuff that I see now on television, with just people, being at odds with one another, and everybody's in the me mode, But when I go out and I do my thing, and I make a difference in somebody else's life, it makes me feel good. There's an old gospel song that says, "May the work I've done speak for me." So I want my legacy to be about something positive and something good. I don't just want to be some guy who wrote some songs and was an R&B singer and whatever. I don't want to be that guy.
Speaking of R&B songs, I gotta ask you, we've only just begun. What was the concept and what made you want to write it?
Well, it's a love song, and sometimes in relationships we have to reassure one another. So, you might have been with somebody for years and, seems like things are going stale, but you got to say, we've only just begun. The romance is not over. I got a lot of love to give still, And I co-wrote that song with this guy named Timmy Allen. And, we've only just begun with the number 2 on the chart. But I always say it was a number 1 song because Michael Jackson was sitting at number 1. So as far as I'm concerned, you can't mess with Mike. So that was a number 1 song for me. That's all I got to say.
All right, I'm gonna get you out of here on this one right here. Outside of, what advice would you give to somebody that's that aspiring artist? I know you have always preached heavily on publishing, but is there any real advice that you would like to say to anybody that's saying, hey, this music business, I would like to get into it. They're watching. They respect the people that come before them. What would you say to them?
Well, I would say it's 10% show and 90% business. So learn the business. Learn about publishing and all of that stuff, and don't be. Sometimes when we're desperate, we make some very critical moves and stuff, and we tend to give away everything, and people out there looking to take advantage of you, want to take your publishing and all that stuff. When I was 17 years old, I wrote an album. I recorded an album in California out in Ray Charles' studio, and I was signed to a record label. And after I recorded the record, they approached me about my publishing. They wanted me to sign off on this deal. I didn't know anything about no publishing, man. So they took publishing. So, and don't worry, I'm about to get it back right now. The laws have changed, so I can't. It reverts back to me. But I'm just saying, know the business, and you know what? Be ready, because the worst thing that can happen is for you to get that opportunity and that shot and not be ready. Because first impression is a lasting impression.
Okay, well, I know I'm supposed to end this interview, but Prince is going to be mad at me if I don't do this, right? You've gone through many major labels, and now you have your own label. Can you talk about that label and why you chose to do it?
Well, we have a company. I have a company called Talent Room Entertainment that actually my project is the first project to be featured on the label. And because I'm not only just a singer, songwriter, I'm a producer, and I want to be able to work with some other artists, some younger artists.
Rap, R&B, gospel?
Well, the thing is that, when you put a company together, you kind of put a team and a crew together. So I'm going to let the younger cats deal with the rap, because that's kind of out of my purview, Go ahead. I'm sorry, that's my phone. But anyway, but no, I want to produce, jazz and R&B and gospel, and I got some young cats that I'm connected with that I'm going to let them do the rap and the hip hop stuff. I know my lane, man.
All right, so if they want to find out more about the label, where can they go?
They can go to talentroomentertainment.com. I'm looking at my manager. Yeah, and they can go to glennjonesmusic.com.
All right, well, here it is. It's called Love by Design.
That's right.
That's it, Love by Design. Glenn Jones, he's got an album coming out in the spring, hopefully. No, it's coming,
bro.
See, he touched me. You heard me. He touched me. He said, Love by Design.
It's finished, bro.
So it's the Tallboy Experience, man. We're here, City Winery, Atlanta, Georgia, closing out 2019, going into the new year with Love by Design, Glenn Jones. This is the Tallboy Experience. We're gone. Did you like the video? That's right. Did you like it? Hit that like button.
Think big, think tall,
and share
think
it.
tall boy. The Tall Boy Experience.